Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and today we're going to talk about the Holistic Astrological Cards by Karni Zor. And this is a wonderful astrological oracle deck. Karni is an astrologer, a creator of courses, workshops, an author of few books, Stories of Ancient Astrology is the one I have. You can purchase it on Amazon. This is kind of, the index. Karni has interest in ancient astrology, how astrology was seen and how it evolved over the eons of time. So she tells stories about these different times. It's not just like the dry fact book. It's really beautifully written, approachable, and gives really interesting information and research that Karni, put into this book. So I highly recommend this one for anyone who is interested in astrology. And then she also has created these astrological cards that are illustrated by Maya Rave et al. And they come in this kind of paper box. You can take them out easily because of, this thread here. And they come from Israel. It's 52 cards. And this is a second edition, and the cards are kind of like tarot size. They're a little bit maybe shorter and a little bit wider, so very nice size, beautiful paper. To be honest, you get they're flexible. They kind of have this rosy but buttery feel to them, but they're not sticky. They're sliding well, but not too slidey, and they shuffle great. Like you really, it's fun deck to use and to hold in your hands. So Karni has created this deck for, it's to learn astrology as well, but mostly to get guidance from all these beautiful signs, stars, and houses in astrology, for people to just make it use of it. So they color coordinated, and in the oracle we have the astrological houses. So first of all, you don't need to know astrology to use this oracle. There's this Living Will astrology cards by Patrick Fogarty, which is another amazing astrology deck. But this one is more to really learn the basic language of astrology, and it's hard to use if you don't know anything about astrology, or you're not interested in learning astrology per se. This one can be used as just an oracle card, an oracle deck, because of the artwork and you can read it intuitively, even if you don't want to add any of the information added here. But the houses speak about our daily experience. These are the yellow cards, and then the planets, they speak of various celestial channels through which human beings are influenced and act. So here are the planetary energies. And then we have the signs, the high precise frequencies that reach us from the distant stars. These are the blue cards. So this is, I'm reading it from the PDF that you get when you get a deck, or you can buy a separate book. So the signs, and we also have astrological realms, and these are the distant areas which the astrological signs stem from, and also like your evolutionary kind of frequency. Karni uses a little bit astrology a little bit differently to the Western astrology, more similar to the Eastern astrology. There is a slight difference in degrees. And Western astrology is perfect for personality, for life purpose, all that astrology does, but this astrology can be also very evolutionary and very precise, like Indian Sidereal astrology. But let's just see what the cards are all about. So as I said, you don't have to know astrology to use them, but if you want to learn astrology, they're perfect addition, to get to know astrology. So in the signs, you have the picture, you have the glyph, You have the constellation, how it actually looks in the skies, because Karni uses it. You have the elemental sign and you know, yin yang and so on. So Aries is for enthusiasm. You also get the keyword which will help you with kind of getting a gist of the you know, of the astrological sign. Virgo is for accuracy, Aquarius for higher view. So we just go here through the sun signs. Gemini for curiosity, Libra for balance, Cancer is for caring, Pisces for imagination, Sagittarius for openness, Scorpio for depth, Leo for leadership, Taurus for stability. I just love this painting of Taurus, so cool. The wheel is the harmony, so it's like each of us has all the signs in our astrological compilation, right, cosmogram. So we all a mixture of all these signs into various degrees. So the harmony of the wheel. And then Capricorn is about commitment here in this particular deck. It's always very hard to choose one word, one keyword for a sign, because they're such complex energies, but it always helps as inspiration. So let's move to the green. So these are the planets, and here we have the glyph of the planet, the name of the planet, and a keyword, and this beautiful image as well. So we have Neptune for intuition, Saturn for challenges. You know, Saturn is the planet with the circles, or the circle, the rings around it. So it often is connected to limitations, and often challenge comes when you need to open the door. So perseverance, discipline, all these Capricornian kind of Saturnian qualities help us to overcome the challenges, and that's how our character gets built too. Venus for feelings, and such a beautiful image here. She adds here true node and north node as well. So the future, the true node, what you're aligning with, and then the south node, which is here. It's the past gifts. So what we are bringing from kind of previous incarnation, what we've already kind of you know, dealt with a lot, and what we do instinctively often. Mars is for action. Mercury is for thinking, communication, exchanging ideas. Jupiter for growth, expansion, this kind of broad thinking and overview. The Sun is for consciousness, awareness. Uranus for originality, you know, change, evolution. Chiron for healing, so beautiful. Pluto for metamorphosis, so it's this transformation. Lord of the underworld, we have the pomegranate here, the black and white. And the moon is for emotions, cycles, biological karma. And we're back to Neptune. So the pink color is this realms, astrological realms, also evolutionary. So for example, because of this nearly 4 degrees difference between our ephemeris, the Western ephemeris, and where the actually stars are, in what constellations the stars are in the skies right now. I'm a Sagittarius, but in the Indian astrology, I would be in the Vedic astrology, I would be the Scorpio, because you go backwards 23 to 24 degrees maybe now. And so I would be in the realm of the gate. And this is also my kind of evolutionary energy. So like crossing over the gate, right? And so here we have those realms, the evolutionary realms of the signs. And as Karni writes here, the realms are the distant areas from which the astrological signs stem from. So the pure expression of the signs. The Virgo is about abundance, but they're so multi-layered, right? And nobility about it's for Leo, and I speak about this card in the interview for Inspired Tarot Map with Karni. I highly recommend listening to it. It's going to come up in a few weeks. It's not up yet, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it. This is the first astrologer that I had on, and it's awesome. especially for people interested in astrology. The Key for Taurus, Giving for Cancer, Waterfall for Aquarius, Creation for Libra, Diamond for Capricorn, the Flame for Aries. The artwork is beautiful, Exchange for Gemini, and we're back to the Gate. And really the feel of the cards, I really love holding this deck. And then the last one is the astrological houses. So, you know, when you see the astrological chart, it's usually split in this, like it looks like a cake cut in 12 pieces. And these pieces are called houses. They kind of correlate to different areas of life. So here we have house number 6. So you have the house number, planet that rules the house, and what this house is kind of responsible for. So 6 houses, the house of health, but also of service or like daily chores. And the house of expression, the 5th house, ruled by the sun. Leo house, creative house, house of the children as well. House of spirituality, the 8th house, house of death and occult knowledge, hidden things, secrets, that's Pluto. Here Karni calls 11th house, house of vocation, because of your like kind of Uranian evolutionary path connecting to your, you know, like North Star. But also in Western astrology, house of vocation, to me it's the 10th house, but 11th house is also house of society, house of groups, friends, visions in general. So that kind of could fit as well. Midheaven, it's your vocation point. So here Karni calls it maturity. I really like it, how you position yourself in the world, you know, what you transform, where you come from. Also connection to your North Star in some sense. House of communication with Mercury. House of family, the moon. A house of transcendent with Neptune. Ascendant, new possibilities, that the rising sun sign. The house of potential with the 1st house with Aries and Mars. House of tangible for the 2nd house, ruled by Taurus. So here's all this physical stuff, but also our values and our self-worth, and that's often connected to money and, you know, how much we value ourselves, our work. House of expanding horizons, which is ruled by Jupiter, the 9th house, house of education and kind of, you know, what's beyond. And house of work here, ruled by Saturn, the 10th house. To me, that's also house of vocation. And house of love, the 7th house, that's house of relationship, relating to one another. And we back to where we came from. So I'm going to shuffle the cards just to pick maybe one, and I will read from the book how the book is written. And I did mention that you can get the book separately, but you also, when you purchase this deck, you receive a link to, oh, this shuffle is so good, you receive a link to a PDF version. So let's just pull maybe 3 cards, but I'm going to pick one, the one I like the most. Okay, so here we have the 3 cards, and I'm going to read about Scorpio and depth. Okay, I love the purple here, and the PDF version, I'm just going to move it here for one sec. The PDF version, it's well done. It looks like, you know, it's not just the regular like white pages and stuff. It's nicely done. So I'm going to search for card number 35. So what Karni writes about Scorpio is the frequency of Scorpio is internalized, quiet, spiritual, and deep. It describes the deepest water filled with secrets. All of the large oceans are interconnected, and thus a small ripple in one starts to create a wave that slowly but surely influences all the others. It speaks of our spiritual depths, natural instincts, and about that unique high place, that reservoir of human emotion that we all are connected to each one, and from there to the sublime world. With any question asked, this card tells us that things are going on at the deepest levels, mysterious as spirit and spiritual, mostly unseen. It speaks of the great powers that influence us from the depths and asks us to bring those deep urges and instincts to the highest level. Reflecting upon the Scorpio card helps to connect to the deepest levels of our soul and to our higher spiritual essence, to connect to basic instincts and intuition that know better than the mind, and then use our human abilities to take that even a notch further. So that's what she writes about the Scorpio sign, Scorpio card. And we can see here the three expressions of Scorpio. The Scorpion itself, the kind of basic, the stingy, the very instinctive Scorpio. Then we have the snake, as the Scorpio is sign of transformation ruled by Pluto. And then we have the eagle, when you actually lift up and see the wider picture and understand the processes that we humans go through. So very interesting. So this deck is beautiful. If you want to learn astrology, great deck to play with. It's more feminine than Patrick's deck. Patrick's deck is awesome if you want to put out your chart, if you want to use it as prompts for learning astrological basics like the planets. It's easier, it's clearer. But this deck can be used also as an oracle deck. I call the Living Wheel astrological cards the yang, the masculine version of astrology decks, and this one would be the yin, the more feminine, with the pictures, colors, and so on. So also great for learning astro, but with the additional maybe kind of, to me it's a beneficial side that I like pictures, like that you can use the pictures and play with color, with number. There's a few different layers you can use in these cards. So the holistic astrological cards, let me know what you think about it. Thanks, Karni, for creating this deck. It's really beautiful and I love using it. And yeah, hang out and take a look when the interview with Karni will be posted, because it's fun. Thank you for watching. Bye.